Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatles Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video and I hope you're all doing well, and a big happy new year from me to you. It's gone everywhere. It's gone in my tea. I wasn't expecting it to go in my tea. It's gone in my tea. Never mind. I didn't think it would be that messy. Oh, am I kidding? Of course it was going to be messy. Anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to what I normally do. I'm going to be doing a show and tell video, and I don't do those that often. I do prefer to do discussion videos, but I am going to do a show and tell today, and I'm going to be showing you some of my favourite pieces of vinyl that I picked up during 2022. Now, that's not to say that the albums are from 2022. I'm just not that trendy. These are in fact, none of them are from 2022, and I'm glad I haven't got to say that too often anymore. Anyway, I suppose if I was to give a little sort of byline to the video, it would be something like, you don't see that very often on vinyl anymore, do you? Because not all the vinyl, but most of the vinyl that I'm going to show you is kind of from the CD generation, where we just bought albums on CD and didn't give vinyl a second thought, or I didn't anyway. If you've been following the channel, you'll probably know that I started going back to vinyl in 2020. During lockdown, I started buying vinyl again. So since then, I've been kind of catching up on the albums that I only bought on CD for decades, and picking them up on vinyl bit by bit. So I've got a few of those to show you. Most of these are quite tricky to get on vinyl these days, hence the byline. A couple of them are not tricky at all, but I'll show you them anyway. Okay, so that's coming up in a minute. Now, I've got a couple of bits of news to share with you. You may be wondering where the hell my review is of the McCartney Legacy book, and the fact is I still haven't got the book yet. I pre-ordered it on the 1st of March last year, but it's still not here yet. We've got printing problems apparently here in the UK, and I know all around the world you've all got your book and you're all well into it by now, but I still haven't got mine yet. And I've got an estimated delivery date from Amazon of the 24th of January, but that is just an estimate. But obviously I couldn't wait to get into this book. I've really been looking forward to it dropping. So I have ordered the audio book. So I've been, I'm about 200 odd pages into it, and I have to say it is utterly brilliant. Anyway, I will be doing a proper review when my book arrives and I can show it to you, which I guess will be around the 24th of January if I'm lucky. Now, the other bit of news that I wanted to share with you is that I have very kindly been invited to do a monthly video with the guys over at the Two Legs Paul McCartney solo podcast, Tom Hunyadi and Andy Nichols. They're doing a new series. It's going to be a monthly video called Stuck Inside These Four Walls. It's going to be the Two Legs guys, Joe Mayo from the Fabulous Me Mr. Mayo channel, and me. So it's called Stuck Inside These Four Walls, I think, because there's four of us. And the idea of the video is that each panelist is going to come to the table with a topic for the other three to discuss for 3 or 4 minutes each. So the whole video will probably only be about an hour long. And I'm not sure the exact details. I don't know whether we're going to get a pre-warning of what the topics the other people are going to bring to the table, or we're just going into it cold and just going to have to talk about the topic off the top of our heads. But it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun to do, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun to watch as well. So if you don't subscribe to the Two Legs Paul McCartney podcast, please head over to the Two Legs channel and subscribe. I'll put a link down in the description if you're not familiar with it. It is a really great podcast, which is usually about Paul McCartney's solo career, but I understand that for this series the topics aren't going to be limited to Paul McCartney. Anyway, so that's coming out. I'm not sure when we're doing the first episode of that, but I will let you know when I know. Okay, so that's it. Shall we get on with the video? So I have now replaced my cup of tea with a fresh cup of tea that doesn't have bits of party popper in it. Anyway, so me and Mrs. Beatley, it always has to be a story, doesn't there? Me and Mrs. Beatley Tone, we like to go away for a weekend from time to time. And if we go to a town where there is a record store, then we usually pop in to the record store and see what we could find. A couple of months ago, we went to a place called Guildford, which is in Surrey, which is in the south of England, if you don't know. And we found a brilliant, brilliant record store in Guildford. And it was one of these sort of pile 'em high, sell 'em cheap record stores where they were selling sort of second-hand albums for £2, £3, £4, £5. And I ended up buying about 18 albums and spent about 80 quid, I think. And, you know, most of it was, well, all the second-hand stuff that I bought was non-Beatles albums. So I'm not showing those today. But it was also one of those record stores where they don't have anything in alphabetical order, so you literally have to sort of thumb your way through, you know, every crate to see if there's something that you want to buy. And we were in there ages and ages. We were in there so long. I went in there clean shaven and I came out with this beard. But there was plenty, as I say, I bought 18 albums. But amongst all the second-hand stuff, they did have a few brand new albums, and I managed to find this Beatles Anthology 1. It was in the shrink when I bought it, and I've taken that off, obviously. And I had this album on CD from when it came out in 1995, I think it was, and but I've never owned it on vinyl before, and you know, because most stuff in 1995 was bought on CD. I'm hoping that a lot of you haven't seen this album on vinyl, and that's kind of the point of this video. So it is pretty much, well, it is exactly like the CD, and it's a triple album, and it was 20 quid. Absolute bargain. Brand new, 20 quid. It's a tri-fold sleeve. I'll stand up and show you it so you can see it properly. So it's got like the Mark Lewison's notes about the songs on the inside of the sleeve, this nice sort of collage of photos, and then the rest of the stuff about the tracks on there. On the back, it's got the intro from Derek Taylor. So it is exactly like the booklet that was in the CD. Replicates it completely. Now, as I say, it's a triple album, but I don't need to show you them all because they all look exactly the same. But I will show you one of the discs. So this is side one. Kind of looks weird having the early stuff on an Apple label for me. That's side two. And as I say, the other two discs do look exactly the same, so there's no point in me showing you them exactly the same, apart from they say side 3 and side 4 and side 5 and side 6. So I won't bother showing you because that would be completely boring. Anyway, that's it. Anthology. Oh, I've turned it the wrong way around. Anthology 1. So very pleased to pick that up. I've got Anthology 3 on vinyl, but I'm still missing Anthology 2, so I'm still looking for that one. So as much as Anthology 1 was an absolute bargain, the next album that I'm going to show you really wasn't. It's very, very difficult to find on vinyl, and that's Paul's Memory Almost Full from 2007. But I'm absolutely delighted to be able to pick this up. I'd waited and waited and waited, and the price didn't come down, and I just pulled the trigger because I just wanted it so much. But this one isn't brand new, it is second hand, but it is in really, really good condition. And the album itself just sits inside the sleeve like that, which is a bit bizarre. And this whole sleeve structure is quite bizarre. So that's the front. That's the back with the track listing. And then it kind of opens out into sort of 3 pages. So you've got that one, and then you've got that one, and then it opens out further into that one, Paul behind his chair. And then the whole thing kind of opens up like a great big poster. If you can see that. Let me show you that. Paul just leaning back in his Converse on his chair. And yeah, very, very strange structure. If you turn it over, it kind of looks like this. And I'll show you the vinyl before I put it back together, because it's like doing a piece of origami, the sleeve. No idea why they went for such a bizarre album cover structure, but there you go. Anyway, so the album comes in an inner sleeve with printed lyrics. Looks like that. There's a bit of party popper in here. Okay, so the vinyl looks like that. As I say, it was second hand, but it is in really good nick. So I'm just really pleased to be able to have, been able to get a copy of this, because it is really hard to find on vinyl these days. So memory almost full. So the next one wasn't nearly as difficult to find. This one I won in an eBay auction, and it's this album from 1991, Paul McCartney, Unplugged, the official bootleg. Very pleased to get this. Apparently there's only 250,000 of these made, and they're all individually numbered, and mine, as you can see there, is 1610, which is quite low, so that's quite nice. This is on the Hispa Vox label, which is Spanish. I think it's a Spanish pressing, and I don't know if you can see, but all the sleeve notes here, apart from the song titles, are all in Spanish. Even the credits, the musicians on the album, are in Spanish as well. It comes in this sort of white inner bag. This is actually polylined, but just on the inside, and it looks like this. This is way before the time of 180 gram vinyl, so it's quite flippy floppy, but it's in very good condition, very quiet indeed, and very pleased to have that one. So that's Paul McCartney Unplugged. That's the spine, if you're interested in spines. But yeah, sleeve's a little bit dirty, but the record's in really good nick. Okay, so the next album that I'm going to show is this one from 2008. It's Electric Arguments by Paul McCartney as the Fireman, the third of the trilogy of Fireman albums that Paul did with Youth. Now, unlike the first two albums, which to my mind were just unlistenable garbage, this is an album of proper songs, a bit experimental, but proper songs. A lot of the lyrics he kind of made up on the spot, but it's a great album and a great sounding album as well. So if you don't know this album, it's definitely worth checking it out. So that is the front cover of the album. That is the back cover of it, and if we turn it on its side, you can see the track listing there. And that is the spine. And it is a gatefold, and in the middle is a picture of a red lorry. Now the theme of the artwork on this album is painting, because Paul and Youth painted the studio walls when they were recording the album, and a lot of those pictures are in the booklet that comes with the album, which I'll come to in a minute. So it is a double album. This is the first disc. That's the inner sleeve with fire and man there, and this is also one of the paintings that they did on the wall. So this is side 1 of the album, and this is side 2. By the way, when you show that up, that looks like it's a crease in the label. It's not. It's absolutely flat. It's just supposed to be like that. So that's side 2 of the first album. This is the second album with Electric Arguments painted there. And this is side 3 with the blank label, and that is side 4 with the track listings for both sides on it. Now, it came with a few things in the album. This is the booklet that comes with it. This also came with the CD, but obviously in much smaller format, and basically it just shows the paintings that they did on the wall while making the album. I won't show you the whole thing, but that's quite nice. And if you imagine this as a CD cover, this would be one page on a CD, but obviously in this larger format they can get more pictures on each page. It also came with a hype sticker, which was a great big thing like that. I'm not sure whether that number there is the numbered copy of the album. I suspect it is. And when it came with the hype sticker kind of blazoned across the shrink like that, which I obviously took off. Now, also, rather oddly, with the album, you get the CD as well, which just looks like that, which is quite a nice touch, I thought. All records should be like that. You should get a free CD with all records. So this was the CD that I owned when the album first came out in 2008. Now, if you follow the channel, you may know that I have this album signed by Paul. It says, "To Tony, cheers, Paul McCartney, 08, which was when the signing was. If you want to know how I got this signed and what I said to him and what he said to me, there's a couple of videos. Well, it's a two-part video. It's called "When Beatles Tone Met Macca." It's a two-part video which covers 3 meetings that I've had with Paul McCartney. So if you want to find out how I got that signature, then check out those videos if you want to. Okay, so that is Electric Arguments. Okay, so the next album that I'm going to show, I know is going to raise some eyebrows out there. It is from 2001, the much maligned album Driving Rain. And I know this is not a popular album with fans, but I really like it. It took me a long time to like it. I really had to persevere with it, and I think that if you do persevere with it, there are rewards to be had. It's a much better album than people give it credit for, but you do have to try harder. And I think that I'm reaching for this album before I'm getting to things like Pipes of Peace or Broad Street or McCartney 2 or any of the covers albums, Kisses on the Bottom, Run Devil Run, the Russian album. I'm going for this before those. It's not his best work, but it's an interesting album with some good songs on it. Don't you just hate it when they put the hype sticker directly onto the sleeve? The back cover looks like that. It is a double album. There's all these pictures taken with Paul's Casio watch, and when you see that close up, it looks better actually from a distance than it does close up, but it's really pixelated and quite pointless really, but it does look better as I'm holding it up here and looking it back at me. It looks much better from a distance than it does close up. But yeah, it is a double album, and it's not a gatefold sleeve, so both albums are sort of stuffed in there. That is the spine. And although it is a much maligned album, I'm really pleased to be able to get hold of a vinyl copy of this, because they are really difficult to find. There's not many out there, or there's not many people selling them out there, so it was quite difficult to find. This isn't a new copy, but it is in really good condition, so I am really pleased to get it. So the first album, side 1 and 2, come in this sort of pinky coloured inner sleeve. It's got the lyrics on the back and the front, and the vinyl looks like this, very much like the CD, with Paul's handwriting of Driving Rain and the signature, his signature. I think this was the first album that he did the signature on. His signature has been on all of his albums since this one, and that's side 2. And the second disc comes in this red inner sleeve. Lyrics again, and the vinyl looks exactly the same on the second disc as it does on the first disc. So that's Driving Rain from 2001. I say I'm really happy to have been able to find a copy of this. Again, they're quite expensive, and again, I was watching and waiting for the price to drop, just like with Memory Almost Full, and it didn't. And in the end, I just pulled the trigger because I just wanted to get my hands on a vinyl copy. But I don't know why Memory Almost Full and Driving Rain have been so hard to get on vinyl. I hope that they do a reissue of them, especially if they do them in the as part of the coloured vinyl series. That would be great. Okay, so we've arrived at the final album that I'm gonna show in this video, and this one is a compilation. It's a quadruple album from 2001, and it's Wingspan Hits and History. Now, this is an album that I owned on CD when it came out. If you've got it as well, you've probably got it with the slipcase where the cover is kind of in 3D like that. And it's not an album that I needed, but I just kind of fancied it, and it looked like it was a nice package, and it is a nice package. So here's the front cover. Again, annoyingly, the hype sticker is stuck to the actual sleeve. Now, this isn't a new album, this is a second-hand album. It's got a little tear there on the sleeve, but nothing too drastic. The back looks like that. It's got all the tracks listed there. If you want to go through them, you can pause the video. But it is a very, very good track listing up until that time. So it's split into 2 sections. The first 2 albums are called hits, and they're all the singles, all the hits. And the second two albums are called History, and they're mostly album tracks, and a very good sort of selection of album tracks as well. Things like Maybe I'm Amazed, Bluebird, Take It Away, Man We Were Lonely, Venus and Mars Rock Show, that sort of stuff. Even a couple of B-sides there, Heart of the Country and Daytime, Nighttime Suffering. So it's a really good compilation, this. It is a gatefold. It kind of looks like that. It's not that interesting, the gatefold. And the spine kind of looks like that. The sleeve is a little bit worn, but the LPs are in really good condition. So these are the hits albums there. The labels are both the same, so I'll only show you one, but they come in these sort of paper inner sleeves, but you also get like a hard inner sleeve as well. and on this side, I know you probably can't read that, but there's nothing much to see here really. It's just the track listing, and it just tells you, you know, the details of the songs, the timing, and that sort of thing. On the other side, we've got some nice photos, and the second one, again the same. You've just got the information about the song. It's not much information, it's really just the titles and the timing, and then some nice photos on the other side. And the vinyl looks like this. Nice pink label. So that's the hits albums. To say, I don't need to show you both because they're both the vinyls look the same. The history again comes in these paper sleeves. This has got a purple label, so a different label to the hits, and you get the inner sleeves, the hard inner sleeves as well. That's the side with the song information, and some nice photos on the other side, and then the other one is like that. And some good photos there. So it is a very nice package. As I say, it's not something that I really needed, but I just fancied it. And here's the vinyl. It is in very, very good condition, the vinyl, and it sounds lovely, sounds really nice. It's not 180 gram vinyl, but it is quite thick. So that's it. So that's Hits and History, the Wingspan Hits and History album, and that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you've got anything to say about any of these albums, if you've got them, you know, tell me about it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. You always put some interesting comments for me to respond to. I do read everything and respond to everything, and I hope that in this video, the whole point of this video was these albums are you know, are reasonably difficult to find on vinyl, and they are kind of all from the, you know, from the CD era. So I'm hoping that, you know, that a few of you won't have seen these on record before. You won't have seen these albums before on vinyl. That was the point of this video. So I'm very pleased to have picked up all of these albums during 2022. I'm gradually catching up. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.